Suge Knight is claiming that Snoop Dogg knew all about the Tupac hit and was even warned about it. Suge Knight speaks out about this on the Collect Call podcast and claims he has a few questions for Snoop.
And he said that Snoop had a radio. He was at Snoop House when it happened.
I looked out the house and Snoop was outside. Then he had the next tail back there. Remember the motherfucker?
Yeah.
That whatever it was hitting him all the way from what was going on from Vegas. And then he started getting calls, and they was telling him that Tupac got shot and this.
Only way you would have a radio if you was at the fight with us and you had a security detail. Now, not having a security detail, what are you doing with the radio?
These claims are not good for Snoop Dogg, especially since the fact that he did a song with Tupac's alleged killer has come back to the surface. Napoleon from the rap group The Outlaws even had to admit that was shady on The Art of Dialogue.
That's strange, you know what I mean? That kind of threw me off because I heard it, and I think I heard it from somewhere else. Maybe Reggie, right? From Bon First, I think I might have heard him say something similar where that's crazy, bro. Like if you know this dude 100% is in a car with a person that killed your boy and you do a song with him, it just really shows how you always felt about Pac. You know, and I always said that, you know what I mean? It just shows how you really felt because some stuff that, you know what I mean, some stuff you just don't do.
The idea of Snoop playing a part in the Tupac hit is confusing to many considering Pac and Snoop's friendship. For years, it was Suge Knight that many accused of having something to do with the Tupac hit. However, Suge is starting to reshape that narrative, and he even recently accused artists at Death Row Records of being jealous of Tupac.
Pac got bigger than everybody on Death Row. That's when the jealousy kicked in. Everybody know how I felt about Snoop. But if Snoop was coming up, people would come around and say, Snoop, let me get an autograph. Snoop, let me get a picture. Once All Eyes on Me came out, people come around, hey, Snoop, where's Tupac? Could you get him to come over here and sign my autograph or take a picture with me? Or if they seen the Dog Pound. And they'd be like, how do you feel? That's the best thing in the world. You get to hang around Tupac.
Y'all already know, this statement from Suge didn't sit well with many former artists from Death Row Records. Daz from the Dog Pound was especially upset and even took to his IG Live to vent about how they made Tupac.
People always saying that Snoop, Dr. Dre, us, everybody, we was jealous of Tupac. How can we be jealous of Tupac and we made Tupac? You know what I'm saying? We put that album together. We came over there. We gave him music. We did that. We wanted him to be the man of the man. You know what I mean? So how was we jealous putting his album together?
Despite Suge's claims against Snoop, he hasn't been as vocal about the person that's in custody right now for allegedly taking out Tupac, and that's Keefe D. Suge even went as far as to say he wouldn't testify against Keefe D during his interview with TMZ.
There was only two people in the car. And Pac not going to tell the story. I ain't going to tell the story, but I tell you this. And I never had nothing bad to say about Orlando because, number one, he wasn't the shooter. Number two, he came to my hearing and told to let me go and tell the truth. They still didn't let me go.
If you are called to testify in this case?
I wouldn't be.
Why not?
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Why not?
Well, number one, because I'm not going to get on the stand and testify on somebody for what?
You have to take what Suge says about Snoop with a grain of salt, because those two didn't end on the best of terms. I mean, it got so bad at one point that Snoop feared for his life during a flight with Suge Knight and Tupac. During his interview with Angie Martinez, Snoop detailed that graphic event.
Normally on a private plane, it'd be Pac, his security, me, my security, Suge, and a couple of his homies. This time I go to the airport, my security walking with me. Suge like, hold up, they can't roll. So I walk to the back of the plane, give me a blanket, grab me a knife and a fork, put the blanket over my nose right here, my little black glasses on, and ride like this the whole flight, hoping one of them come with me so I could stab at everybody on this mother.
That was a pivotal moment in hip-hop history. Many would even say that was the exact moment Death Row Records ended. Snoop Dogg and Tupac were the best of friends for years until questions of loyalty from both Tupac and Suge Knight started to arise. Snoop had a hard time adjusting to making Biggie his enemy since they were all previously friends. Pac didn't like that and accused Tupac of being a traitor. During his interview with Angie Martinez, Snoop spoke about the very interview that brings up questions about his loyalty to this day.
When she brought me to the station the next day, she asked me, how you feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I told her the truth. Them was my homeboys before Pac got on death row. I used to come to Bad Boy around with a few up there, you understand?
Hello.
And,
hello.
You know,
hello.
Bring Biggie that green, you know what I'm saying? That, you understand me, connected with the clinic. These is my dudes. That's why can't nobody in New York disrespect me on that tip. Biggie loved me and I loved him. Mm-hmm. And I never jumped in that. I never acted funny towards him when I knew him and Pac was clashing. And I never took sides.
Don't forget, for years, Suge Knight was the one many people accused of taking out Tupac. Suge Knight has always been looked at as the boogeyman of hip-hop. Some people even say that Tupac wanted to leave the label before he was hit. Suge denies those claims, though.
You don't take a person like Tupac who, if you listen to every song on All Eyes on Me, every song on Machiavelli, every time he do an interview, what's the first thing he say? Death Row. Tupac loved Death Row. Tupac loved me, I loved him. Tupac took Death Row to the next level. Snoop took the baton, he ran with it, and he did a great job with it. When Tupac got the baton, not only did he win the race, he finished so fast that he was able to sit back and drink some Thug Passion and come up with another plan.
Even though Suge Knight says everything was all good between Tupac and Death Row, I'm not so sure about that. Snoop Dogg did an interview with Big U and talked about how Tupac and Corrupt almost threw hands back in the day.
Well, I say something to Tupac, and Tupac like, you ain't even supposed to be talking to me. And Corrupt like, what? And they back and forth, and Tupac tell Corrupt, oh, ain't even on my level. I had an outlaws deal with you. And Nate Dogg stepped up and said, what the f I'm gonna be doing when that's happening? Ooh. And then got fast, like Tupac and them start like squaring up. The MC Hammer tried to jump in, like that nigga like
MC Hammer?
He was part of the crew. The Suge come in. Man, knock this shit. He's tripping off for it. Man, we all family and whoop. And then start laughing and it was over with.
That don't sound like it was all love to me, especially towards the end. Tupac had a lot of enemies and his friends grew shorter. Thinking that Snoop had something to do with the Tupac hit isn't fair at all to him because Pac had a long list of enemies and Suge Knight never seemed to really like Snoop at all. Especially since Snoop got his company now.
Play was cool, but it's like, yeah, that. How much to buy this? You talking about? How much to buy Death Row first? How much for my masters? How much for all of the masters? How much for Suge Publishing? Give me all of it. Stick up.
That definitely sounds like enough to give Suge Knight a bias towards Snoop Dogg. Suge has even gone on record with his disapproval of Snoop Dogg running Death Row Records.
If you look at it, they committed fraud. They committed bankruptcy fraud. I didn't lose my company by doing anything wrong. They went in and a lawyer didn't show up, and they got a default judgment. I settled the judgment. They turned around and said I didn't settle the judgment, but they committed bankruptcy fraud, which we just found out for sure last week.
That's not the worst of it either. According to Snoop, him and Suge met up a few years back, and it almost turned violent. Snoop talked about Suge giving him a pass on that one occasion.
What I do, I say, when I finish with this little woo-wop I'm with, I'm going to have my folks come down there and tell you what room I'm in. And then when you come up to my room, ain't going to be nobody in there, just me and you. About 45 minutes, I send my nigga down, go get cuz and tell him to come up. I said, matter of fact, don't even come up with him. I want him to feel comfortable. And the whole conversation is, I loved you. I could have saved you. I had nothing but love for you. And his conversation was, I love you. I ain't got nothing but love for you. Well, why did you try to get me pop when you loved me? You know what? I forgive you. I ain't gonna do nothing to you. It's outside that want your head right now. I ain't gonna do nothing to you. You can go and walk up out here and we're gonna be cool from this day forward.
This Suge Knight and Snoop Dogg beef goes all the way back to Snoop's trial back in the day. Snoop almost had his freedom and career taken away from him. According to Suge Knight, he was the one who masterminded the plot to keep Snoop free.
Disappointed in that motherfucker because if it weren't for me, you'd still be in prison doing life. You turn around and you said you partners up with this dude. Neither one of y'all got death row or bought death row or purchased death row. Now it's fun.
So what you mean when you say that he'd still be in prison?
Because when Snoop got convicted for the murder,
Snoop Doggy Dogg, a judge in Los Angeles refused today to drop murder charges against him.
We, the jury in above and Tyler action, find the defendant, Calvin Brodus, not guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree.
we had one song on it. We did a video shoot in Long Beach. For whatever the reason was, when I pull up, they was in there beating up Snoop bodyguard. This guy named Malik was jumping on him and Snoop. I go in and get on the dude, choking him out and get him off from the whole of nine, and another guy from his neighborhood. So when that took place, they said, you got to be standing up. You can't be no punk. They pull up at their apartment. There's 4 guys in the car. It's Snoop. It's Lil Style. It's Malik. I think it was Sean Dog. Yeah, it was. Guy threw up a gang sign to them. They start chasing them in the Jeep like that. They shoot. And the guy got shot in his ass, ricocheted up and killed. Right? So now they got a warrant for the liquor for him. Naturally, who the first person they call, who didn't say, oh, I don't want to get involved in that, but that's murder after fact. The motherfucker moved in and took care of business. When he got David Kenner, Don Ray, and Johnny Cochran to represent all these guys. I got in my hotel room, and they was all in the room. When me and Bunchy walked into the room, they was all crying. Why everybody so sad with watery eyes? They said, if he getting life, we can't beat this case. I said, why? The lawyer said, well, the bodyguard has a 9mm, so we can't say he protected Snoop and shot the guy. Snoop had a .380. I said, that's not a problem. I said, if the bodyguard had a .380 and Snoop had a 9mm and he got shot with a .380, right? He got shot with a 9mm. I said, the bodyguard had a .380 and Snoop had a 9mm and the guy got shot with a 9mm. Since Snoop had the .380 and the bodyguard had a 9 and he got shot with a .380, that's all the bodyguard got to say is he was using .380 bullets in his 9mm. They said, man, you're a genius. You should be a lawyer. So I got Johnny Cochran to represent somebody. I got David Kenner to represent somebody. I got Don Ray to represent somebody.
Comment down below. Are you rocking with Suge on this one, or do you believe Snoop is innocent? Also, let me know what your theory is as to why Snoop was given a warning to stay away from Vegas the night Tupac got hit. Oh, and if you thought Suge Knight was done exposing folks, think again. Click the video on the screen to hear why Suge Knight says the industry did DMX dirty. Also, like this video and subscribe to the channel to see all of my Snoop and Suge videos. Peace.